Elmer, we're here to talk about forbidden love. What can you tease about your relationship with Lindsey that fans are going to see in season one?
Living with an Amish man, you have to teach them everything.
I didn't know about sex until I was like 18. I'm like,
I think just our great relationship, how we interact with each other. We're two opposite people, and I think we make it fun. We uh I always I'm a jokester no matter what. And I think I make light of this situation, like when she gets mad or something or upset. I just laugh about it because life is too short to get mad. So that's kind of how I look at life. I think life is great, and I think with our relationship, I think it's the biggest thing is how we handle conflict and stuff. I mean, she'll get mad and I'll laugh about it.
We definitely see your banter in episode one, and we also learn how you two met.
Hmm.
So what is your favorite thing about being with Lindsey, and what surprised you about her?
She is a very much of a go-getter like I am, and and then also it's something where she brings the best out in me. A lot of things surprised me, like like I didn't know all of her background and her history and stuff like that. Like she didn't know mine either, right? But I mean, mine wasn't. I'm younger and didn't. I'm only four. I'm not. I'm only a couple years old now out here in this world, right? So I don't have a lot of history. So I guess it's just her past and stuff. I guess there's a lot of small things that really surprised me.
And in the show, we see you kind of experience the English world, right? And it's like with a fresh new set of eyes. And one of the things you didn't know how to do was floss. So I have to ask you, does she still floss your teeth? Are you doing it by yourself now?
Oh no, she only did it like one time or twice, whatever it was. She was just being silly. I mean, I know how to floss. I mean, my teeth are nice and white now.
And what do you think surprised you the most about leaving the Amish community and coming into like the English world and living with Lindsey?
How women treat men out here. That
Oh,
makes sense.
how
Like
so?
it where I come from, it's more like old school. Men they're up here and women are down here, right? And out here it's almost the opposite way. So that's the biggest thing that I had to, really get used to.
Well, we saw in episode one that one of the conflicts you two had was your addiction to adult content on your phone.
Oh
Have
my God.
you overcome that? How
I
did you
did. I
overcome it?
so it's all something where, yeah, I had issues with it, but think about this, okay? You're a young stud, right? And you're in this pen until you're 5 6 years old, as or at for me it was whatever age I was until I left. Think about this. I mean, you didn't know about, like, for me, I didn't know about sex until I was 18, right? And so think about that. Like, that's all I had. And then, like, for me, I didn't have sex until I left. And so that's all I had, right? So I got used to it. And so you almost got I had a problem with it. I don't think I had an addiction. Like, I've overcome it. I've put things in place now to overcome that situation. And so no, it's been good.
Okay, good to hear it. Good to hear it. So in the show, in episode one, you guys are also expecting your baby. So any
Mhm.
updates? What can you tell us about that? That's very
We're having her first birthday party here in today's Thursday, right? Here in 3 days, here on Sunday. We're gonna have her first birthday party.
Oh,
So yeah.
congrats.
So Lindsay didn't want to throw a birthday party because she knows I don't have family out here, right? And so I told her, I said, listen, I said, I don't care if my family's not there or not. I said, if I have friends that are really close, I said, I don't care if there's two, three people that show up.
Yeah.
I said, I never experienced a birthday party, a birthday cake, or nothing until I left, and then she gave me my first birthday cake of my entire life.
Wow.
So I said, I'm gonna make sure that I do everything in my power to make sure that Layla experiences everything, even though she's a year old. Emily, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's more for me than Layla. It's not necessarily for me. It's about Layla, but it's also that I can, we can go back, when she's old enough to remember things, we can go back and she can see that we did that for her.
The moment I married Lindsey, my family, they don't communicate with me no more. Because if you marry an English woman, like, you are totally, like, completely out. Like, you are done with being Amish. And it's up.
Huh?
Going this way. All right, look at the horses.
Oh my gosh.
There's a bull. That's my cousin over there.
The kid or the
That
adult?
one with the red beard.
The adult that walked away?
Yeah. They give me the dirty looks.
Isn't it awkward? Like, your own family's right there, and they're just
Yeah,
like,
they
act
just-
like they don't see you.
Yeah, they just walk away. It's hard for me to be around the Amish because it reminds me of everything that I gave up in my old life for Lindsey. I gave up my family, gave up my community, gave up my Amish life, gave up everything just to marry her. Sometimes they come up and say something, but mostly they just turn their backs and walk away. It's
Like you're, like, plagued. Like, you
pretty
got a
much.
plague or something.
I'm a disease.
Yeah.
Living in the modern world is great and all. You have all this technology and stuff. I don't have to bathe in the same water as my siblings. I don't have to read by candlelight, but it's a lot harder than it's cracked out to be.
And has your family reached out to you? I mean, how has that adjustment been? It sounds like they haven't, but even after the baby, there's still no contact with your family.
No, I tried getting a hold of them, and letting them know that, Lindsay was pregnant. And then also, when she was born and everything like that, and they haven't reached out yet. They haven't even acknowledged her as a grandchild yet.
I'm sorry to hear that. That must be.
It's something where you gotta get used to it. Yeah, I could be sitting here crying about it, but things happen in life, and you can't control it, and you got to make best of every situation. And I think that's why me and Lindsay have such a great relationship, is because um I've been through a lot, by leaving the Amish and stuff, and then now, with conflict and whatever else, I've learned to just kind of push everything to the side. You know what? It's not worth my time. It's not worth dealing with it. And so, like, for me, I mean, if my dad called me, and he told me he would have much rather had a funeral for me than to see me where I'm at today. When you get told that, you kind of, like, I don't have hatred towards my dad. He just don't know better. I love him to death. He just don't know any better. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I look at it, I guess.
Are you raising your baby any similar ways to how you were raised in the Amish community, or do you kind of want to completely do things different with her?
I would say I'm going to implement some of the Amish I call Amishness in her. Like, I'm gonna teach her some, German words and stuff like that. And also, I think, disciplinary things, just different things like that.
Yeah. And what do you love about being a dad? Like, how has that whole adjustment been? And how has your relationship with Lindsay shifted a little bit since you became a dad?
I would say since Layla's been born, it took a little bit to get adjusted, but now I wouldn't go back and I wouldn't change anything, because she makes me a better person. I have something to live for now. I have a family now to take care of, besides myself and Lindsay. And so it's something where now, like, everything that I do is, like, I tell everybody, if I get plucked out of this world today or tomorrow, I want to do everything in my power today that Layla is taken care of for, for the next, at least half of her life or whatever, you know. And so it's something that it kind of gives you something to work for. Like, I have friends out here that are people that I know, out here, that they say, well, you're 24 years old. Why do you want to have a kid? And I'm like, it's the greatest thing that can happen to you. It makes you a better person. And I wouldn't go back for anything.
Well, that's beautiful. Beautifully said. And I mean, obviously, you've left the Amish community. Do you have any advice for anybody who wants to leave the Amish community and who might be watching this? Any tips?
I just say, just leave. Don't be scared. Just leave and don't look back. And I think what happens a lot, like for me, I had a lot of fear when I left, because I knew that, I wouldn't be able to see my family. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. Like, I have people out here that are closer to me than my own brothers and sisters were. And it's something where I wouldn't go back for nothing. I mean, family doesn't have to be blood. And I would say leave, and just don't look back.
Talk to me about getting approached to be on a reality show. What were your thoughts? Was it an immediate yes, or were you hesitant?
It was immediately, it was a yes for me. Because I think you guys found me through, like, TikTok or something.
And was Lindsay on board immediately too, or did you have to?
Oh, it took a little convincing for her. She's like, yeah, but our lives are gonna be on there, our personal lives and everything. And I was like, yeah, but this is a once in a lifetime chance. And so I was more on board with it than she was. But no, it was the greatest feeling. So now I'm dealing with a lot of like locals. They're like, oh, you're some hot shot. You think you're some hot shot because you're on a TV show, but it's something where it's like, if you would have had this chance, that's why you would have took it, because it's something where a lot of people try to get on one and they don't. And it got handed to me, and it's like you kind of take, like in life when things get handed to you and you can take it and you can, you put them to use, you just grab the bull by the horns and ride them.
What 3 words would you use to describe what you and Lindsay go through this season on season 1?
Interesting, crazy, and dramatic.